Hey everybody, this is Diane, and as I'm welcoming you to Biters tonight, I would like to say my sincere apologies to the housekeeper.
And this is Marnell, and we're not canceled this week. Everyone else is.
I'm
God, we
sorry.
canceled so many celebs this week.
Oh my goodness. We're not famous enough to get canceled.
No. I think you can still get canceled, though.
You can. I'm sure you
Yeah.
can. Fortunately, I think Rob likes us, so.
Right?
It's been a tough week in the old cancel culture.
It has.
Yeah.
I'm frankly, like, I think that we're all a little too sensitive. Just like who you like. You know, their opinions can be trash, but you know what? Like, I have coworkers whose opinions are trash, but they're nice people and I work with them. So, like, yeah, you can't cancel everybody.
I'm kind of struggling, because I mean, we talked about this and we talked about the chick from The Mandalorian before we got started. And I'm sure that there are a couple of people out there that I know who listen to us occasionally still who are rolling their eyes. And it's like, okay, she's a terrible person and her opinions are trash, but she's a great actress and she was perfect in that role.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I did not follow her on Twitter.
I didn't either. And had no reason to.
Yeah, even if I did, I probably wouldn't see it. A lot of people I follow don't come up in my, and I really just look at trending. I really hardly ever look at my feed. So I'm like, you know what? Like, had somebody not pointed it out, like,
you wouldn't have known.
I would have known.
And honest to God, who am I? I'm a 50-year-old woman who likes Taylor Swift, so.
Oh, yeah. And like, Justin Timberlake, like, he was a kid too. Like, yeah, he was really crappy and he made his career off of like the tabloid exploitation of two other women. And I'm like, you know what? Like, just buy his music, listen to his music if you like it. If you don't. Like, can we just like stop canceling people unless they're like really terrible, like the guy from House of Cards, Kevin Spacey. I know you have big feelings over American Beauty.
I was going to say, and it's all because of American Beauty, because I still love that movie. In fact, it's so funny. I was actually looking over some hits on my blog tonight because Charlie Esser, thank you, Charlie, shared a blog post that I wrote today. And I've had a bunch of people reading old blog posts. And I blogged about American Beauty about a year ago. And I was like, it is still a great movie. I still love this movie so much, and I'm so conflicted about it. And the funny thing is, a young friend, and I can't remember who it was who said it to me, but they said it really well. They were like, you know what? Just enjoy the movie. That check's already been cashed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty astute.
Yeah. It's like all those people who had bought Nike sneakers and then like they
burned them,
Colin Kaepernick,
right?
And like they started burning them, and it's like they already got your money,
right?
Nothing.
Why don't you go buy another pair, just so you can really piss Nike off by burning another pair of their sneakers,
right? And posting it online.
All right, we're totally down the rabbit hole already. So you guys, we are podcasting The Stand episode 6, The Vigil. We have 3 episodes of The Stand left to podcast after tonight. And my rating was not so nice.
Okay, let's get into your rating, because I have a feeling I rated it higher than you did.
I have a feeling you might have. So mine was 2 terrible casting choices. You have to let me finish before you gasp.
You can't hit me with a 2. Oh my god.
2.
Okay, we canceled The Stand, apparently.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna take a deep breath and try again.
All right, good.
2 terrible casting choices out of 5.
Oh man, I'll be interested to find out what you're.
Oh, you know who I'm referring to.
Okay, one of them.
All right, what was yours?
Well, now I feel bad. Mine was a 4.0 incel manifestos.
What? Could you say that again, please?
It was a 4. So like
for what manifestos?
Incel manifesto.
Oh, perfect.
Right. Oh, I went back and I watched it on my laptop and paused it during when she was kind of going through the manifesto, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, and it says that he actually says that it's his manifesto. And oh man,
and that's pretty accurate to the book, actually.
Well, I mean, it said it had the word manifesto in it.
Oh, like, no, I mean, it's pretty accurate to the novel by
okay.
Stephen King. Yeah.
Oh man. And I'm seriously, it read like an incel blog post nowadays. Oh,
yeah.
It's scary.
Oh my God, you gave it a 4 and I gave it a 2, and I was the one who was like, let's do The Stand. And you were like, no, let's do the OG one.
And like here all along you've been like, oh my God, your ratings are so low. And I'm like, I promise they get higher. And you'll understand.
And my ratings have gotten lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll understand when I talk about my good.
Okay. Well, as I've said in the past, I don't really have much in the way of numbers. I did go ahead and record what the rating on IMDb was. It was 6.6 out of 10. So the people who watched it, who rated it for IMDb, rated it higher than I did. The title, The Vigil, they keep referring to the gathering at Mother Abigail's house as the Vigil for Mother Abigail. And like, that's not how it went down in the novel. I know I say that a lot. It's not how it went down in the novel. I'm pretty sure it was just a committee meeting. And there wasn't like a big gathering of people. There was just a like, I think there were like 6 or 7.
Core 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way it went down in the 1994 version.
Okay.
Also.
Okay. Yeah. Oh goodness. Oh, of course, Koba hasn't played with the toy all day, so she's got to get it out now.
Oh.
What a ridiculous dog. So our writers were Jill Killington and Nate Lee. Nate Lee we talked about last week, Knate. So maybe it's Knate, maybe it's Nate. I'm going to go with Nate. And then our director was Chris Fisher, and I wasn't sure that we had talked about him, but he was also the director last week because I remember commenting that he had done some Murderino Fare, the movie about the Hillside Stranglers and the movie about the Night Stalker.
Right. And he's also done some work on The Magicians, which I really love.
Right. Which, again, tell me again what that is, because I can't hold it in my head for whatever reason.
It's basically much hipper, older, sexually active, like...
Oh, you had me there.
Hogwarts.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
With drugs and alcohol.
All right.
Oh yeah.
It's new Hogwarts.
Yeah. And there's there's a world that's kind of based on, like, it's very familiar because it's basically the plot to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The Fillory books and they discover that Fillory is actually a real place. And they wind up becoming kings and queens in it. But they travel back and forth between like Earth and Fillory. And it's hilarious. Like the stuff that they get into, and it's really sad. And there's great LGBTQ characters, and yeah, it's just super fun. And it deals with a lot of complex issues. So it was kind of my new Buffy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I've been really bad about like watching anything new. I'm still trying to finish the last novel in the Bill Hodges trilogy, and it's gotten really good. So I'm into it. I've got a couple of other novels that I'm going to start. I'm just busy. Life is crazy.
Crazy good.
Crazy good.
Yep.
All right, so our featured cast, we both love him. Laws, yes, Tom Cullen.
M-O-O-N, that spells Tom Cullen.
AKA
Brad William Hankey. So we kind of talked about him a little on the show before because we love the character
Because we're
Tom
both
Cullen so
mooning
much.
over Moon.
Yes. And also Brad William Hankey, we both know from, well, are you up to date on Orange is the New Black?
So I fell off in like season 5, so I'm pretty sure that I met Piscatella, but I don't remember Piscatella. So I actually just need to go back to like season 3 and start watching again. But
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I do that so much. I'll get into a series for a little bit and then I fall off.
Yeah, so that's the problem that I have whenever we do this week to week crap. Luckily, The Stand is only 9 episodes, so I only have to like do this for 9 weeks. But if you like have 4 seasons of a series at this point, I have the attention span of a millennial, a TikToker. Like I have to be able to binge it all in a weekend. Sorry. Not sorry.
You're cracking me up.
Yeah, there was a great show that I binged this weekend. I told you about it. I'll talk about it later. But so like I said, he is most known to those of us who are not into sports ball from Orange is the New Black. But he has actually been in a ton of movies and shows. Of course, he's been in a Law and Order, a CSI.
Right. I laughed when I saw Law and Order. I mean, tons of one-offs. So
Right, but he's
ER, MacGyver, Criminal Minds, The
Grimm.
Office.
Yeah, Bones.
Yeah.
But he's also had a lot of reoccurring characters. He had a reoccurring character on Justified, on Sneaky Pete, on The Bridge, Manhunt. And of course now The Stand. So I actually didn't know this until I looked him up, but he is actually a former NFLer.
I didn't know that either.
So he is best known, blah, blah, blah. Hankey was drafted by the New York Giants in 1989, but got cut. Then he was picked up by the Denver Broncos, and he played in a Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately, he had repeated injuries, which required 6 ankle surgeries, and led to his retirement from football in 1994. But he picked up acting in 1994, and he's been steadily working ever since.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see, like, in his physique, it makes sense that he's a football player, or is a former football player.
Oh, totally. And so there was actually kind of a recent pic on his Instagram where it looks like he may have some leftover shoulder injuries also that he's had some recent surgeries for. But there is something on his Instagram that I absolutely need to point out and give him props for. So it's about the 3rd post in. And he talks about his hair loss. He started to lose his hair gradually, and it's been a tough road for him. And he's actually had hair replacement treatment from Bosley Medical.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to crack up.
So I absolutely think that hair replacement for men and women should be completely normalized. It's you know,
actually, I'm really glad you said that, because I got a private message from a friend of mine who's been following some of the stuff that I've been posting on Facebook just about my own, like, oh my God, I'm not dead. I'm 50 and I'm getting a divorce and I'm not dead. And she private messaged me and she said she has been majorly struggling with serious hair loss, and she's had really bad self-esteem issues as a result of it. And she's like, I'm so glad to see that you're doing so well and to read the stuff that you write. It makes me feel so good and it makes me feel so brave. And I was like, oh my God. So actually, I take back being snarky. That you are totally right. Getting treated for hair loss should be totally normalized.
Yes, and you know, it's gaining a lot of steam, I think, in Europe. There's some great I always go back to TikTok now. There's some great TikTok videos of these amazing hair pieces that men are getting now. And they look completely real. And they have to go and have them like re-glued on like every couple of weeks or something. But
That sounds like kind of a pain.
I mean, look what women do for beauty. We go get like spray tans and our nails done
All
and
right,
things
but you know what
waxed.
I'm going to say? I'm going to tell you what I said to my niece today.
What?
There is a point at which you need to love yourself. And I can't, I don't know what it's like to live in a man's body. I'm not going to say that I understand what goes through their brains, but for definitely as a 50-year-old woman, get out of bed, take a shower, do your hair, do your makeup. I don't care if you're going to sit in the damn house all day. I don't. Because you have to love yourself.
Well, and this was something that was important to him, and I love that he is open about it. Because I think it's something that like people have seen as shameful, and I don't see it as shameful at all. Like we put on makeup, we, do all of these things to our bodies, and it's been normalized. Like lip injections is practically as common as like teeth whitening nowadays. So I absolutely love that he is open about it and he has got great results. And I hope he inspires other men to do something to gain a little bit of their confidence back. So I just thought that was very cool. It's like his third post in on Instagram.
Well, good on ya. I'm glad you brought that up. And I do. I sincerely apologize for being snarky. I do.
Well, and like, see, so that's kind of everyone's sort of knee-jerk reaction, but
right?
like, again,
well, I mean, we all think like hair club for men, right? And we're all like, but
right?
no, I mean, that's,
yeah. So, yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say about Brian Hankey. I do have to mention that we were talking about watching new shows before, and I just had a massage today, and my massage therapist was telling me about this documentary on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher. And this guy documents like basically this like friendship that he developed with an octopus, and I'm not even kidding. And I was watching an interview with Brian Hankey before the show, and he talked about this documentary and he loved it. So I'm like, now I have to go watch My Octopus Teacher on Netflix.
I have heard good things about that.
Octopus are really intelligent creatures. I think if they got any larger and were able to stay on land for a while, they may overthrow us as the apex predator.
We are not even going to talk about apex predators because it makes me think of that terrible movie that does not belong in the Wonder Woman pantheon.
That's right.
Ugh.
That's right.
Well, I have a couple of quick things to say about Brad William Hankey. So he was in the movie Fury with John Bernthal and Brad Pitt. Which
right.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
I really loved that movie. I kind of dig World War II movies, so I happened to notice that in his IMDb list. And the other thing is, he was in a movie called Choke, which is based on a Chuck Palahniuk book. Chuck Palahniuk is also the guy who wrote Fight Club. That's probably how most people know him.
Oh.
So I just have to talk a little bit about Chuck Palahniuk because he's so amazing. I definitely haven't read everything he's written, but the first book I ever read was a book called Rant, and it got me really hooked on his stuff. And then he actually wrote a very disturbing collection of short stories, and I want to say it's called Haunted. And I'm just going to say the first story in it will blow you away, nauseate you, and ruin you for life.
Oh, kind of like Assassination Nation did.
Funny that you should say that because I was going to bring that up here shortly. But so Brad William Hankey kind of led me down the whole Chuck Palahniuk rabbit hole, and I was like, Oh, I have fond memories of Chuck Palahniuk.
That's
So,
very cool.
yeah. And
Uh,
I have to say, I have not watched Choke. I read Choke, and it was way kinky. So, yeah.
huh.
So there we are. Chuck
Do you
Palahniuk is
recognize
Chuck
the
Palahniuk is kind of a dirty bird.
Do you recognize the character Denny that he played?
I don't, because it's been so long since I've read it. I want to say that the guy who plays the main character in Choke was in the Charlie's Angels movies, and I'm embarrassed that I don't remember his name.
I don't know which one would be from the Charlie's Angels movies.
I'm totally Googling it right now. Hang in there with me. I should have looked before I started talking.
Matt Gerald?
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
Yeah. So he plays the main character.
Oh, they obviously do not list the cast in order of, like, famousness.
Right.
Because, like, Paz de la Huerta is, like, way down on the list, and Angelica Houston's below her.
Right. Isn't that funny?
Viola Harris. Wow. Huh. Interesting.
So that actually... oh, go ahead. Do you have it?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that actually does lead me right into Whisperer's Corner, and I put us at the top of the news this week. Because for anybody who's interested in Odessa Young, who plays Franny in this series, Marnell convinced me to watch the movie Assassination Nation, and we reviewed it on The Real Housewives on this most recent episode, and it was so good.
So good.
It was so messed up, but it was so good.
Is only the second 5 out of 5 that I have given one of the shows movies we've reviewed, and it was the third for you?
Yeah, I think it was the third for me.
So we both gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, and I will tell people that if you are going to watch it, it's very shocking. Heed the trigger warning at the beginning of the movie.
The several trigger warnings.
Yes.
There was between 13 and 82. I don't know.
And from me, the salty, crusty ER nurse who's like seen a little bit of everything, I was kind of queasy partway through it. So anyway, Assassination Nation, 2018 movie with Odessa Young. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a tiny bit of Walking Dead news. Do you remember that C. Thomas Howell had a very small part in the episode Stradivarius?
I do.
Apparently, he is going to come back to us as that anonymous hilltop guard.
That's what I hear.
Yes. Apparently, the Walking Dead account on Twitter teased his return.
That must be where I saw it.
I don't follow Walking Dead on Twitter anymore because they ruined the Daryl Beth death thing for me, and I was like, no. I still haven't gotten over that. I know it's been like 5 seasons, but I still haven't gotten over it.
So, I don't follow them on Twitter either, but because of my analytics, like it comes up in my trending all the time.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah. I just don't watch social media on Sundays.
Right, because you don't want Walking Dead spoiled.
Nope.
Oh, go ahead.
Did you see that the Here's Negan trailer is out?
I haven't watched it. So when I looked at the news was chock full of trailers and pictures, and I just thought, I don't want to be spoiled on anything for 10C. I don't want to be spoiled on anything for the start of season 11 filming. I do have a tiny thing about that, but just a very tiny thing. So I avoided everything.
It's basically like 2.5 seconds of more of Negan than in the regular trailers that we've already seen for season 10C with like Maggie and not so baby Herschel anymore. But the rest of it is just Negan talking over like a whole bunch of edited content that we have already seen trailers for. So I watched it and went womp womp.
You were like, clickbait again. So this is from the news, and this is the one thing that I did click on about season 11. So there is confirmation finally that season 11 has started filming, and the very first picture is a picture of them with the filming clipboard. I can't remember what it's called. You know, the taken scene.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, Diana, help me out. And it apparently it's like right in front of the windmill for Alexandria, except the windmill is like burnt and crumbling.
Ooh.
Yeah. There is also confirmation that The World Beyond season 2 is officially in production. And I will be honest, when I read that, I was like, oh no, really?
Yeah, but they're only doing 2. So
I know. And they actually did say in the article again that it is a direct lead-in to the Rick Grimes movies, so
now you have to watch them.
Well, you know I'm going to watch it anyway because we're going to talk about it. It's just, you know, it was kind of, you know, there were like a couple of there was like one really great episode, one okay episode, and then the rest it was like, oh, come on, guys.
Their walkers were pretty cool, though.
Yeah, they did spend a lot of money on their walkers. The Wasp walker is still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, the only other thing I've got is, and you've probably seen this too, so the Fear the Walking Dead shoot in Round Rock, Texas was actually taking place in the Dell Diamond Stadium, which is the stadium that they were camped out in where Madison died.
Dun, dun.
Right? So there's tons of speculation that actually Madison's not dead and she's coming back and that's why they were filming at that location.
God, that would be hard to keep a lid on because, like,
Well, Kim Dickens is not very good at keeping a lid on things. She's totally like, I would totally love to reprise the role of Madison. And it's like, okay, come on, Kim.
How do you get her in the filming location,
right?
Like, and stay in a hotel nearby without people totally blabbing and paparazzi taking pictures?
Yeah, I don't know. The only other thing in the article that I thought was really interesting was apparently the original plan of Dave Erickson, who was the showrunner in the early seasons, was in season 7, he was planning on turning Madison into a villain.
Yeah, I thought that I had heard that somewhere a long time ago. And
well, so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if they actually brought her back and she was like all burned and scarred and bitter? And actually turns out to be like a big bad. Like a real big bad, not a Ginny. Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. I didn't want her to be the villain, and and when you said that, like, all I could think was like, I don't know why. I think it's probably because you posted a picture of Chucky, the doll, or tagged me in one recently. And, like, all I could think was, like, the charred Chucky doll. So I saw Madison as the charred Chucky doll.
I totally have never watched any of the Chucky movies, so, yeah, no. I
don't know why I flashed on that. Oh. I'm okay with her coming back as Madison, like, as, you know, mom and leader.
Charred and scarred isn't okay.
What's that?
I said charred and scarred isn't okay.
She can be charred and scarred, but, like, I don't want her to be the villain. I want her to apologize to Alicia.
For what?
Oh, we have had this discussion before.
Oh my god, okay, apparently my brain is mush because I don't remember this discussion.
So she was so Nick-centric.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That,
like she didn't have another child. She just had one child, her son. And
she kept, like putting Nick in the care of Alicia, and that, like, is just totally wrong to do. Like, her and Alicia's relationship was just awful. Like, and I say that as, like, that's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing. I totally believable that a parent did that. Like, I can see it. Not awful as in, like, a bad plot point in the show, as in, like, you know, that kind of crap happens.
I was going to say there are parents who do that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I say their relationship was awful in that it was unhealthy and, like, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to come back and apologize to Alicia.
And then she can go away.
And then she can walk back into the fire.
Oh, God.
No, I'm totally kidding, Kim Dickens. Like, I would love to have Madison back. Like, you know, at this point, who cares? Like, we've been through the ups of this show. We've been through the downs of this show.
We have been through the beer bottle hot air balloon.
we had children building a plane.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going.
Madison can totally come back. Rejoin the Yes Show. I didn't swear that time, Rob.
Okay, really, honestly, they just need to kill off everybody except John Dory, June, and Morgan.
And Alicia.
Yeah, okay. Steve and Alicia.
Alicia deserves her own spin-off show.
Okay, Steve. Alicia.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right.
It's going to be Daryl, Carol, and Alicia. It'll be like Three's Company.
Well, they did talk about going out to New Mexico, and Texas is on the way to New Mexico, kind of, sort of. So.
Yeah. But...
And who knows? Maybe they'll stop by Hemingford Home and pick up Mother Abigail, too.
What sort of wacky hijinks are they up to this week?
All right. Goods, bads, and uglies. Let's get this show on the road.
Okay.
So
do you want to go first?
Oh, what the heck? I'll go first since I rated it so horribly, incredibly low and really struggled to find anything good. All right. So my goods are small. Julie Lawry brings the hotness.
See? Last episode. Her boots.
Oh my God. I mean, it started with the ball gown and the shotgun and it's just gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
And I would also like to say... And I should be ashamed to say this. New Vegas kind of looks fun.
Yeah, it kind of... In fact, I keep meaning to look up what hotel that is, because I love the way there's all those internal balconies that overlook the arena. That's cool.
I mean, other than people getting killed, there's definitely some stuff about New Vegas that looks really fun.
Yeah, and the slave thing is bad.
And the slave thing is bad? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But it's pretty raunchy.
It is. I love all, like I said, I love all those balconies with the red lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people in like fetish wear just humping on the floor all over.
Oh dear.
God, having a like 1.5 hour massage is like having a few drinks.
I literally had, like, not even a decent restaurant pour of Merlot tonight and, like, had a half a glass of it, and then I couldn't find my glass anywhere. I was like, oh, I cannot drink any more red wine. Red wine is bad. No, no, no. So, of course, when I was with our mother today, because it was 6.5 hours of our mother, I bought another bottle of red wine.
Lost your glass in your tiny cabin home.
Right.
Your glass ran away.
It did. Oh my
your glass,
God.
like, seek help. And the bottle's like, you can just drink from me. I'm always here for you.
See, I totally belong in New Vegas. Ball gowns, Merlot, and shotguns.
Knee-high black boots that are bedazzled. And cotton candy pink hair.
I love the cotton candy pink hair.
God, I love her hair.
If I could do that again, because I had cotton candy pink hair at one point in time, I would totally do that again.
I can do that, because I'm never going back to work.
I hate you.
All right, my good. Were you
Before
done?
you're good,
Okay.
remind me I need to send you a picture of the shot glass that I ordered. Now.
Okay.
Now, you can tell me you're good.
Trash Can Man, finally!
Oh my
Episode
God.
6,
Ugh.
2/3 the way through. Okay, at first I was like, no, this is not my Trash Can Man. Then I'm like, I'm kind of okay with his level of crazy. Like, it's not what I'm used to, but it's growing on me. And I just love that he is basically walking around naked with like bombs strapped to his thighs. That's just like the only thing like, and I get it because we can't really show full frontal male nudity because we're all Puritans. Um,
We're not all Puritans, but apparently a fair portion of America is. Although apparently CBS All Access can show complete and utter S&M porn on the stand.
Pretty much. So I don't get the underwear because like the way that he's got all of his straps and everything, I'm like, that would just be a hinder. Like, because you would have to like undo the thigh straps that he has in order to pull his under. And I'm just like, lose the underwear, dude. Just go for it. But yeah, my life for you. I'm finally getting my trash can man.
But and like he didn't say it the way I heard it in my head when I was reading the book. He didn't look the way he looked in my head when I was no. And we'll go there because I have some things to say about Trashy as well.
Okay. So that was my good. I finally got my trash can man. We are only 2/3 the way through the season.
Right. We've only got like 3 episodes left and you finally got your trash can man.
Finally. All right. What was your bad?
So my bad was the whole Franny Harold scene, like him catching her. And I'm going to tell you that part of it, most of it, is because that's not the way it went down in the book. And I know I said that a lot while we talk about this series, but like, no, I mean, basically what happens is he and Nadine make the plan to blow up the committee and they do their thing and they disappear. There's no big confrontation between Franny and Harold. There's no, I would have gotten away for it if it hadn't been for you kids. Yep. I mean, I didn't like it. It was, I didn't need it. It didn't do anything for me.
The 1994 version kind of sounds like it went down the same as the book version. So, yeah, you have that to look forward to.
I am obviously going to like the OG series way more than I thought I was going to.
You know, I didn't mind this like you did. Just because of the whole like incel storyline that I love to watch, like a slow train wreck. So I was okay with it, but yeah, not the way it went down. And it led to something that I disliked about the show is the explosion.
It was terrible. The CGI was terrible.
I liked how they like threw the people, like the blast of the people were like flying through the air. But no, so the part where Nick kind of finds the bomb, that is totally not the way it went down in the 94 version. He basically saved the lives of the other council members.
Oh, and I honestly can't remember. I mean, so a couple people are killed, but several people make it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, and in this one, he just like, it's like he gets this feeling that it's in the piano, and he's not saving anyone's life. He just like kind of looks at the bomb and kaboom. Like it didn't resonate with me. It didn't have the impact like the original did. So, yeah.
The impact.
Oh, so my bad. And I don't know if this was in the book or not. It was not in the 94 version. The whole Mother Abigail flag confrontation.
It wasn't. I mean, there were some scenes in the book where I want to say that there were like some
a dream.
Yeah, I wanted to say that there were like some vague interactions, but there wasn't the whole flag appears in the forest and Mother Abigail is walking through the forest and
promises her like he can hide her from God and give her eternal peace. And
right.
No, that entire scene took up entirely too much time and was completely unnecessary. It added no value to the show at all. Like I have nothing for that. I just in the original 94 movie, there was a couple of times where, like maybe two times. I think it was just the one time where, he actually appears before her in the cornfield. And I can't remember if it was when she was already in Colorado. And so it was like basically a dream, or if it was when she was still at Hemingford Home, which was not
a nursing home. Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just the whole Mother Abigail flag thing, not necessary.
Yeah, no, there was a lot in this episode that was not necessary.
This is how we got 9 hours.
And we get like 30 seconds of the judge. And then we get this weird, the judge who was...
I know.
Sorry, I missed it. Sorry. And then the whole weird Bobby Terry thing. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that like a character from a bad Will Ferrell movie?
So what was your ugly?
Of course my ugly was a bad ugly. Ezra Miller is the trash can man. It was horrible. He was not my trash can man. He was not. And I was not okay with the fact that he was not. He was like this kinky goth Edward Scissorhands imitation, and it was horrible.
Kinky goth.
I hated it.
Oh.
And I mean, Trashy was weird and he was mentally ill, but he was not the way that they portrayed him in this. I mean, he's weird and bizarre, but he's no. Just no. I hate it. I hate the whole trash can man thing. And I loved that character in the book. He was a great character.
And Matt Frewer did an amazing job in the 94 version.
Good, because I almost said something that I'm not supposed to say on Biters.
So tell us how you really feel, Diane.
The other thing that I would say is that I don't know if he says this in the 94 version, and I don't know if I'm even saying it right, because I'm probably saying... No.
Oh, okay.
The whole Cibola thing. Cibola. It's like it's his name. It's Cibola, and it's his name for Vegas. And so whenever he says to Flag, my life for you, it's usually Cibola, or Cibola, however it's said. My life for you. And it's not this like weird, my life for you, like it was. I mean, they just took a great character and ruined him.
So one of the things that I did really like about Trash is, have
I conveyed to you the strength of my feeling?
Well, the scene where the one guy had killed the judge and Flag goes after him and everything, like when he says something to Flag or something, and it makes everybody else in the room like take a step back, like, whoa, like Flag's about to like tear his head off and use a skull as a candy dish. And Trash, like, although he is like groveling at the feet of his master, he doesn't fear Flag at all.
And I don't think he ever did in the novel either. He was utterly devoted to him.
Yes.
But he didn't fear him.
Yes. But I love that quality about him, that like he is just so crazy that he has absolutely no fear for this man that like is just, a horrendous demon basically. So.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you hate Trash.
Yeah, no, I loved Trash in the book, which is why I hate Trash so much.
Okay, so now we really, really do have to do a follow-up of the 1994 version, because I need all of your opinions on everything you loved and hated. Because I really think...
Do you really?
Okay, maybe we don't have to record it, but we have to talk about it for at least 2 hours. All right. My ugly was a good ugly, of course, because apparently I rated this twice as good as you did.
Apparently you did.
So mine actually happened right before your bad. I love when Franny goes into Harold's house and she's talking to herself and she's like trying to like kind of psych herself up to break into his basement. And she's like, remember the time when Franny was pregnant, had pregnant brain, and it made her crazy paranoid? I was like, she's setting up her alibi. Like, that's what she's going to use later if she doesn't find anything in his basement. She's going to be like, I was just crazy pregnancy brain. And I'm like, oh, that's like, you know, being a woman sucks sometimes, but God, we've got good excuses for stuff. Like, seriously, if you're ever caught speeding, just be like, I got my period and I need to get, I have to change my pants. Like, it just like mention your menstrual cycle. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Granted, like, it is a good excuse. Like, it's a legit excuse, but yeah, we can get away with a lot with like, oh, it was pregnancy brain.
I have nothing. Yeah.
So yes, that was my ugly. So I think that takes us straight into rotting potpourri.
It does. And one of the things that really bothered me, because nothing else really bothered me about this episode. So I really felt like the way that they portrayed Flag actually made him look kind of weak. I mean, the way that he interacted with his he's kind of a demigod in the book. And the way that he interacted with the human beings that he interacts with, it just seemed kind of like a committee meeting. Like,
Smalls agrees with you.
He completely agrees with me. He thought this was a terrible episode. And and him admitting to Lloyd that he couldn't see the third spy. Mm-hmm. I felt like he had interactions with his minions and made admissions to his minions that made him look weak. That those are things that the all-powerful evil that is Randall Flagg would never admit to an average human. Okay, he would totally have those thoughts in his head, but he would never say it.
I had a feeling that this episode had some, like, inconsistency with his powers.
Yeah.
That it was like...
It's like 1 minute he's like a totally normal dude, and the next minute he's like teleporting to Mother Abigail and offering her everything, and yeah.
Yeah. He has to ask where the Moon Man is or whatever.
Right. But
he can, like, just blip into the elevator with the one guy.
Well, and the whole thing about... the reason that the way it was explained in the book, and I suspect this is probably the case in the 94 version as well, that he couldn't see Tom was because Tom's disability clouded his ability to like get into his head.
It was alluded to. Yeah.
And so even this whole like, who's the Moon Man, that like never happened. That never happened.
Yeah, no, not in the 94 version either. I think they're trying to allude to it more in this, in that he says, like, every time I try to see him, I just see the moon. And like, so they didn't put that fine a point on it in 94.
I have the words no bueno written down.
So one of the things that it took me out of the moment is when Flag was putting the beat down on the 1%er in the elevator, and like he's just throwing him around the elevator and it's covered in blood and everything, and like the entire audience in the arena is watching this go down and people are shocked.
Right, which they're the people who before were like watching things in the swimming pool, watching people kill each other, and like totally
chainsaw fights.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And totally
I'm just
walking
like,
by people who are doing like really vulgar things to each other.
yeah, yeah. And like we watch people chop each other with chainsaws for fun. And we are shocked to find out there's gambling going on in this establishment. But I was just like, really? You all are going to be all shocked about Flag beating a guy up in the elevator? Yeah, it's a little gory, but not nearly as gory as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the musical.
Oh, God.
Oh. So yeah, that took me out of the moment. I was just like, really?
There was so much about this episode that took me out of the moment. Oh, my God.
I do have a complaint.
No, really? I thought it was just me.
I would like to lodge a complaint with the lighting department. Too dark. Can't see anything.
In what in particular? Because I would definitely say that even though I gripe a lot about this episode, I didn't have moments where I was like, I can't see any of the zombies. I didn't have any Walking Dead moments where I was like, come on!
Well, not that I cared too much, but the whole Flag and Mother Abigail scene
was
really poorly lit.
Yeah.
And then there was another scene, I cannot remember what it was. I think it was a Harold and Stu scene.
Oh,
maybe it was Harold and Nadine.
So was it the Harold and Stu Shane Rick scene?
I think so. There was a scene where I had to like rewind it and get like 2 feet from the television just to see what was going on.
This episode was not worth that much effort. And I've got to tell you, speaking of Mother Abigail and Randall Flagg in the forest, I still don't see anybody other than Whoopi Goldberg in really bad dreads.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah. And this is just not this Mother Abigail is weak. Like, the Mother Abigail in the 94 version was strong.
Yeah, the Mother Abigail in the novel is very much, I'm a vessel of God and I don't really know why God chose me, but she's pretty tough.
Like, Whoopi wants to die in this movie. Like, he nailed it when he's like, you wake up every morning like disappointed that you woke up or whatever. Yeah. That's not working for me. It never has.
Yeah, I also wrote nope a lot in my notes.
Just in general.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm not even drinking and I'm ridiculously punch drunk. This was just so bad.
You sound like Koba's toy. No.
I do have to say, one moment that I actually like that I've written down in my notes was when Joe leans over to Larry and he's like, Nadine and Mommy Nadine are two different people.
I was just looking at my notes on that. I loved that.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting because this was not in the 94 version that she has kind of developed kind of a mother's love for Joe.
She did in the book too.
Yeah, no, Nadine, Joe didn't stay with Nadine in the 94 version. Joe stayed with the other chick who I confused Heather Graham with. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I actually liked the excuse that Nadine came up with to keep Joe away from the Vigil. She talked about, how the children were all traumatized about the vigils that happened at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was like, that was a really good cover story to come up with on the fly to keep Joe out of there. And that would ensure that, Larry wouldn't take Joe there. And so I got to give her props for that.
I don't have anything else.
I don't either. And, like we've said, we are now watching this week to week. So I don't know what to expect from the next episode, but from the also 6.6 rating on IMDb and the weird picture of Nadine they have as the thumbnail. I don't know what to think. So tune in next time.
So you can see how much higher Marnell's rating gets and how much lower Diane's does.
Or will they both just meet in the middle somewhere?
And so tomorrow we are going to be podcasting for the Real Housewives of Alaska, and we're going to be talking about the 2015 movie Amy, about Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Which you can rent on Amazon if you're interested in watching it.
I am. After seeing the Framing Britney Spears, which I'm sure I will talk about a lot in the Amy, because I think there's a lot of parallels with the young female celebrity.
Yeah.
So I guess, until next week, just remember,
take it one dead day at a time.
Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
Okay. Happy Galentine's Day.
Buy your own damn flowers.
And Monday is National 50% off heart-shaped chocolate. Just, Bye.
Bye.